In the last few years, I may say, they faced a challenging situation. It was partly on account of the slowdown in some sectors, and their problems could also be related to those sectors itself. The government has been from time to time reviewing the health of these banking institutions. Even though challenging situation did exist, there is no cause for panic at all. Either cause for panic or for alarm doesn't exist. The nature of the problem is such that with some initiatives which we've taken, it has partly been fixed and is capable of being fixed. It's true that for some time it went unattended. Now, ever since the present government took over, our policy was that commercial decisions must be really taken on commercial considerations. And the level of political interference in the functioning of the banks has to be minimized. The detailed presentation made by the chairpersons of various banks and by the banking industry as a whole, and this is a view shared by all, including the central bank, including the government, that it was sectors such as steel, power, highways, discoms, to a lesser extent sugar, which were predominantly responsible for this stress. And therefore, to resolve this whole issue and find a solution to this, you need to deal with banks as an institution, you also need to deal with each of these sectors. There is a positive movement as far as the highway sector is concerned. And the large amount of public investment going into that sector has got the sector moving. And therefore that is now being reflected in the erstwhile stressed assets as far as the highway sector was concerned. We have in the last few months taken some steps with regard to the steel sector. But the problems with regard to the steel sector are really on account of external factors. And therefore the stress, the steps being taken also relate to that. For sugar, one package has been announced to help the sugar mills to get out of distress. The Prime Minister recently had another meeting. There is still important work in progress as far as that sector is concerned. We are continuously monitoring the situation as far as private sector power companies are concerned, and also the discoms. And some states have to have some urgent reform measures as far as their discoms are concerned. We are independently trying to convince each of those states that unless they take corrective actions, the banking system would be unable to support them indefinitely if they continue to lose resources month after month. We will also be today explaining to you a new policy where each bank would be monitored now on basis of key performance indicators. In the presentation to be made to you, a detailed explanation will be given. As a first step towards a banking investment company, which will hold all the assets of the banks, the shareholding assets of the governments in the banks, we had proposed a bank board bureau, and its structure is also going to be announced today.
Bank's capital requirements now, with regard to after this capital infusion by the government, is that in itself sufficient to meet the bank's capitalization needs, or is there a target which has also been set in terms of banks raising capital from the markets? Secondly, sir,
we've announced a roadmap for both of them, because in the decision which had been announced, in addition to the 70,000 crores, over the next 3-4 years, another 1,10,000 crores in terms of raising capital from the market had also been announced.
Yeah, 142.
For the first time that you have appointed private sector players as heads of state-owned banks, and along with other measures, do you expect significant improvement in NPA situation?
Well, this is a part of
and other things.
This is a part of our attempt to professionalize the management of the banks and to make sure that the best talent is made available from wherever it is available. Now, this question of NPAs will require several steps. Professionalizing management is one, recapitalization is another. Dealing with the sectors responsible for the NPAs and distress is the third. So the government is working simultaneously on all of them.
Sir, 1 minute. Lakshman.
सर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर खासतौर कई सारे प्रोजेक्ट ऐसे हैं जो कॉस्ट ओवररन की वजह से या फिर किसी दूसरे वजह से शुरू नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, उनको और बैंकों से पैसे की जरूरत है, लेकिन पहले उन्होंने इतने पैसे ले रखे हैं कि बैंक अब उनको कर्ज देने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. क्या ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट को लेकर के रिजर्व बैंक से किसी तरह की सरकार गुजारिश करे कि
ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट्स के संबंध में आपको याद होगा जो विशेष रूप से हाईवे सेक्टर्स वगैरह में थे, तो वहां प्रमोटर्स के एग्जिट की गुंजाइश भी बना दी गई है और उनके स्थान पर कोई दूसरा आ जाए.
Siddharth.
Sir, will you open the MD post in other banks, including SBI, to the private sector? And two, I have a question on
There is no vacancy there.
So, as and when the vacancy arises. And two, I have a question on GST for the FM. How do you, would you like to respond to the three conditions that Mr. Chidambaram has placed before you?
Well, I don't think it is any part of prudent politics for any party to put preconditions, particularly on a matter which involves a fiscal relationship between the centre and the states. Now, the first conditionality is that there must be a constitutional cap of 18%. Now, neither Mr. Chidambaram's proposal, as approved by him after the standing committee in 2013, nor the then finance minister's proposal when he introduced the bill in 2011 had any such 18% cap. So that's clearly an afterthought. In any case, fiscal limits need flexibility depending on the economic situation. And every time you have to alter taxes given a given situation, you don't have to amend the constitution for that. Nowhere in the world does it happen. As far as the dispute redressal authority is concerned, the standing committee unanimously recommended that we must not have a dispute redressal mechanism, authority. All Congress party members were privy to that report. Mr. Chidambaram accepted that report in 2013 and then accepted the formula that disputes would be resolved in the GST Council, which is 1/3 center voting powers, 2/3 states, with a 3/4 majority required for any decision. So both these two conditions are contrary to what his own stand as finance minister were. The third condition of 1%, up to 1%, it's not 1%, up to 1% additional tax, was a compromise between the center and the states. And all these three decisions are unanimous decisions of all the states, to which even the Congress party states are privy.
I would like to ask you about recently established BRICS Bank. When India is going to prepare the questions for the consideration of a new development bank of BRICS, and when India is expected to get the support for first of its project? Many thanks.
No, I don't know. The BRICS Bank is now already operating, and therefore the bank is operational. It already has an office, it has a staff, it has a president who's taken over almost 2 months ago. So the bank is operational. Now it's for the functioning of the bank to decide which are the projects it's going to support, and I hope that decision will come very soon.
Minister said that as far as consolidation is concerned, it should come from the bank itself. So in that regard, I just wanted to understand, any proposal has come to the government as far as merger is concerned, and there were reports that there is a plan of merger of Bank of Bharatiya Mahila Bank with SBI. What is status on that?
Well, there is no decision on that proposal at the moment.
And sir, with regard to inflation, would you like to, it has touched a historic low, so would you like to comment on that?
Well, that's a very positive sign as far as we are concerned. And obviously, just as it was indicated, along with the other important data which has come out, this speaks of the stability of the economy that we are in. The inflation is under control. The manufacturing figures, IIP figures are quite encouraging. The indirect tax revenue figures are extremely encouraging. Even if you take out the additional revenue measures, which the Chief Economic Advisor explained 2 days ago, you still have a significant growth. Both the timetable and the geographical spread of the monsoon is quite good. And therefore, across the board in various sectors, we expect a significant improvement this year. And of course, this will also have an impact later in the year on the rural purchasing power.
असल मुद्दा क्या है? असल मुद्दा जो है वो आईपीएल है सर, इंडियन पॉलिटिकल लीग। सर, ये इंडियन पॉलिटिकल लीग जब तक रहेगी तमाम चीजों का सत्यानाश होगा। मुझे सर, मैं आपके सामने बात रख रहा हूं कि जम्मू कश्मीर क्रिकेट एसोसिएशन में 120 करोड़ का घोटाला हुआ, जिसमें से एक शख्स 20 करोड़ रुपए लेकर पाकिस्तान को भाग गया।